Hey guys, in today's video we're going to take a look at this 2.5 Western Digital hard drive. This is a spyglass model which includes shingled magnetic reading, which makes this process a bit more complex, but we'll talk about that later. I'm Kyle from SalvageData. Let's get started. As we start opening this up, I want to explain some simple facts about SMR, shingled magnetic reading. In the most basic of explanations, SMR simply means that the sectors on the drive are physically stacked when created, kind of like the roof of your house. As we can see in the graphic, the sectors are stacked, and then the read heads are able to parse the sectors using a translator. The translator allows allocation of block locations to the heads for efficient reading. This allows the manufacturer to create a larger capacity drive with the same physical internals, reducing the cost for the consumer. So the first step in this process is going to be grabbing our head tools. These tools are essentially wedges that prevent the heads from touching each other and deforming. This mark here is just for us. Essentially, we use this tool on the client's drive, and it's simply to demarcate the donor heads from the clients. So now that we have inserted both tools, we can proceed with our teardown. We'll start with the magnet so the tension on the heads is reduced. Once our magnet's out, we're going to remove the connector which interfaces with our PCB. I'm going to take my flathead screwdriver and kind of rotate it to pop the connector out of place. Now we're going to move on to removing the restrictor, this little white piece. This essentially prevents the heads from going off its ramp, the little orange piece the head sits on, which I've just circled. Now the next step is to remove the post screw which holds the heads in place. Classic mistake I just made. I forgot to remove the sticker protecting the screw. Now for real this time, I'll remove the post screw and we can proceed with removing our head assembly. I'll use my tweezers to get better control. The original heads are damaged and we can just set them aside for now. Now we'll move on to extracting the donor heads. It's essentially the same process. We'll install the post screw, and we can make sure the heads are aligned properly with the ramp. Now we just reinstall the restrictor, head connector, and magnet. I'll look over the surface of the platter as I'm doing this, kind of just making sure nothing's going wrong. I'll remove the head tools. And then I'll just inspect the surface quickly to make sure there's no debris or any contaminants. Now, as we close up this drive, we'll get ready to take the drive into PC2000 and check it out. Alright, so our head swap is complete. What's the next steps? Well, obviously it's turning it on. We need to listen closely to the device, as a refined ear can hear the difference between a healthy and unhealthy drive. Most of the time it's obvious. This one seems pretty obvious. You hear the device spinning up, but then grinding. That's happening because the heads take a few seconds before they actually move onto the surface in an attempt to read. The heads are having an issue, so let's investigate that a bit further. So now we're here with our drive in the PC3000 utility. We're going to attempt to back up some of the files and modify the service area. The service area is the drive's firmware, broken up into individual files, which the drive stores and reads in order to work. Here we will modify our module O2. This will allow us to disable reallocation, which is likely our issue here. Reallocation is a process that attempts to shift individual sectors from a bad area to a good area. However, in practice, a heavily damaged drive gets overwhelmed with this process and causes further slowdowns and sometimes has to put in more effort. This could be what's causing our grinding issue. Essentially, the drive is working overtime in order to attempt to reallocate the sectors. Now in our time lapse, we can see our firmware is fixed and we are able to view sector 0 and verify data. Now we can take it into Data Extractor and copy all existing data. Thank you for watching this video. I'm Kyle with SalvageData and I hope you enjoyed it. Here you can check out some of our other recoveries.